Guess who's back? Back again. Refs
The
are
refs
back.
are back.
Tell a friend.
We're supposed to be in Maple Leaf Square right now, man. But we are obviously at home. There's no playoff hockey. At this time of the year, we would have... Well, maybe not this time of the year, because the Leafs probably wouldn't be in the playoffs right now.
No, because it's finally starting to get nice out, and they don't let us go outside in the square when that happens. We just get to freeze our little tuckuses off.
It's so true, but we don't have to worry about that. The thing we do have to worry about is finding something to referee and officiate, and I found something that I think will interest you, and I think will interest a lot of the viewers. It's something that we're all passionate about here at BarDown. It's the Mighty Ducks movie.
He's a hotshot attorney who's never lost.
Yes!
Forced to coach a hockey team that's never won.
Keep swinging. Maybe he'll give him a cold.
He'll try to teach them how to win.
You think losing is funny?
Well, not at first, but once you get the hang of it.
And they'll teach him
Get off the roof, you little monkey!
that winning isn't everything.
We're gonna referee that movie. I've put together a montage of all of the calls that I think are controversial, and me and you are gonna come to the consensus on what we think should have happened in the moment.
I think this is like a perfect movie to go through because there are some absurd blown calls in this movie. Like, this movie needs some order, and we're gonna provide it.
Absolutely we are, but we can't provide it in what we're wearing right now. I think we need a quick change. Bucket is on, the hair is flowing. Are you ready to officiate the Mighty Ducks?
I was born ready.
Here we go. We see a young Gordon Bombay, and there is no way in hell that any hockey leagues allowed for players to play the game without a face mask or anything protecting the face.
Well, this is when Bombay was a kid, so I think they would have.
What?
Yeah, like way back in the day, they didn't have anything like that. They didn't have cages, they didn't have bubbles, they just had buckets. The penalty that I saw was the coach is not allowed to be standing on the ice.
Coach is definitely not allowed to be standing on the ice,
So
okay?
we
Just like he is here.
Like you can't be there, sir.
Okay, so we'll let the helmet slide for Bombay, but what about this one? This is illegal equipment if I have ever seen it. They are wearing bike helmets
yeah.
with no masks, a football helmet. You cannot start the game like this.
No,
this is a safety
Goldberg doesn't even
violation.
have pads.
He has no pads.
You would not be allowed to play this game. Like, there's not even a penalty assessed here. It's just like kick rocks. Like, you can't play.
Now, here's where we start getting into the penalties. That is
Okay, yeah.
interference to the max.
You can't do that!
Adam Banks just goes in and scores. We giving him 2 for interference?
Yeah, right off the rib. Didn't even have the puck. You can't just punch someone in the shoulder.
Cannot do that. The Hawks were a dirty team led by their scumbag coach, but like the refs were not helping out at all.
I don't care what era you're playing in. If you don't have the puck, you can't be hit.
Absolute penalty. Banks get in the box. This is after Banks scores.
Yeah, that's a penalty. You cannot remove another player's helmet.
You can't do that!
That is no bueno.
So what's the call, Eric?
I would give it unsportsmanlike. I'll hit him with it.
Really, Banks got 2 penalties in the span of like 10 seconds. So now we got the face-off. That, like, that's a slash, right?
I'm calling slash and then a board.
This is a board for sure.
Yeah.
I will, like...
Number 7's going full on back of the right shoulder. And if 8's not there, he's getting staple gun to the glass. We're gonna need a squeegee to pull this poor child off of the glass.
Here's one of the more controversial penalties coming up. Charlie is against the boards and Banks just, like, this is after a breakaway. The puck is nowhere near him. This is an ejection. He's gone. That's a game misconduct for hitting from behind or boarding or cross-checking. There's intent to injure there. Banks is a dirty player. He hasn't come over to the Ducks yet, and he's been filled with all the evil of stupid Coach
Yeah.
Riley.
From beginning to end, that's intent to injure. And like, as a ref, you never want to see that because A, you don't want to see someone get injured, and B, you don't want to have to fill out all the paperwork you do for sending someone out of a game.
You can't do that!
Adam Banks, you're out of there, pal.
See ya!
These refs are just out here for the paycheck. That's all they're
Yeah.
out here for. They don't care about player safety. They don't care about integrity of the game. They don't care about anything. They are just out here to get that straight cap.
They're out here for a Sunday stroll and a quick buck or two after the game.
Absolutely hate to see it. This sequence here, this one just has a ton of interference. Like there are 3 bodies just like, look at all of this.
All of those are just coincidentals, so like it stops that goal from happening, but it doesn't really change the outcome of the next series of events. You still have 5-on-5, just 6 different people in the box.
So I want to count them out. That's 1. Puck's not there. That's 2, 3, maybe 4, 5. I think I got about 5 interference calls there.
Yeah, there's 5 or 6, and the timesheet keeper has a lot of work to do.
They win the draw. and the winger is just driving the guy that he's lined up across on the face-off, just driving him backwards. Like, the most blatant form of interference so his teammate could get a shot off.
And a big pick on the wing there, too. There was multiple penalties there, I would say. That's 2 interferences, 1 at center and 1 on the wing.
Championship game, and this is right off the draw. I'm giving them that's an easy 2-minute either interference or, again, roughing.
No, yeah, that one's rough.
The extra mile with, like, the cross-check into the ice.
That one's definitely a rough, and it could even be gone as far to, like, intent to injure.
You can't do that.
Coach Riley. Oh, yeah.
Look at me.
Stupid Count Dracula jacket. Get the hell out of here, Coach. I would have kicked you out a long time ago.
A penalty should have been called off the rip. So if you call a penalty there, and then you see the coach look at the other coach and pop his collar, you're hitting him with the bench minor right after that. You're like, listen, buddy, I got a game to run here, and I'm not trying to let any hooligans run your circus.
All right, here we go. Whoa.
I don't even know what that is, but that's a penalty.
That's a penalty for sure. Why would you go in and hit honestly, that's pretty intent to injure if you ask me.
Yeah, and like if someone did that, like the game would turn to absolute chaos.
Chaos.
Like if there wasn't a line brawl right after that, it's coming. It's brewing. A storm's a brewing.
So here's a late hit.
And in the head. That's 4 head contact.
That's a double minor for head contact.
Easy.
Right here. That's interference.
Oh yeah, just took his legs clean out.
You can't do that.
2 minutes.
Later.
Interference.
Later, buddy.
No reason to do it at all, but you did it.
Hey, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime, buddy.
So here's Coach Riley telling his goon squad that they need to take out Adam Banks and, quote, drop him like a bad habit.
All I can say for the Ducks is it's a good thing that their head coach, Gordon Bombs, is a lawyer, because they're going to need one after this. This is assault.
This is absolute assault. Cross-check into the post, Banks scores, but the guy is out cold. Like, that's going to the league head office, okay? That is a hit from behind.
Yeah, there's paperwork coming out here.
We know it's intent to injure. An injury happened. Banks had to be stretchered off. You're gone.
Yeah.
And you're probably not coming back for next season for like at least 10 games.
You're missing a couple. You're watching from the stands. You're controlling the music. There's competitiveness and everyone wants to win, but like no one wants to see someone get injured.
We've made our calls. What do you think the ref called on this, Eric?
I guess this incompetent zebra called nothing.
They called a penalty. He takes him to the box and gives him a minor. And now Coach Riley and him are doing fist bumps. I don't know what else you need to see to throw them both out of the game. That is basically the definition of bounty gate.
Yeah.
On like a 10-year-old player.
We already teed up Riley once. I come over after throwing him in the box for that, and you give him a fist bump. There you go. Get out, bud. Take a hike. Enjoy the sun. Go have a nice summer. You're not coming back.
So here we go. The dying seconds.
That's interference.
I'm glad we both saw it.
There's another interference
on Jesse Hall. There's probably no need to take anyone out because everyone dodges the shot from Fulton anyway.
If we're being honest here, I think there's 2 separate interference calls there. Like the Ducks are down 2.
You can't do that.
We're hitting you with one, we're hitting you with another one.
Now this is after a goal. Call it what you want. Call it interference, call it roughing. As long as you call a penalty on that play, you're not wrong.
Either way, it's interference, it's tripping, it's roughing, it's all 3. So you pick your poison, but you're getting one.
Exactly, just call the penalty. And because the refs don't call the penalty, this is what happens. Fulton Reed just sends the guy in the box, a couple of shoves. This ref says, you know what, Fulton, you're tossed from the game.
First penalty is coming on the ice without your bucket. Second penalty is suplexing a child over the boards. So yeah, like 100%, you're gone. That's an ejection.
Here's the most controversial play of all time, the flying V. So not only does it not work,
they stayed onside, which actually surprised me.
Surprised me too, but that is not 1, not 2, not 3. That is 4 separate interference penalties on the game-tying goal in the championship game for the Ducks.
We've all been there. We're all human. We make mistakes. I understand missing 1 interference call. But in the center of the ice, when you watch 4 players bulldoze 4 straight over, you gotta make a call.
They literally dropped their sticks to push the other players out of the way. How do you get away with that?
You can't do that.
It's so laughable.
Tough break for the Hawks. I don't like the Hawks. I don't like Riley. That is not a game-tying goal. That is like the most egregious goal I've ever seen. Charlie on the breakaway. Oh yeah,
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's easy.
To be fair, he sold it a little. We all saw it. A slash on the hands doesn't mean you have to fall.
I'm tossing the X up. That's a penalty shot. I think
100%.
this is the only correct call in the entire movie. But they follow it up with a missed opportunity for sure, because
Where's his bucket?
you can't take a penalty shot without a bucket. What? Like, what?
You think you're cool for not wearing a helmet? You know what? I'll tell you what's cool. Safety.
Safety is damn cool. But Charlie thinks he's cool, and the refs allow him to take the shot. That happened with like 1 second left.
That happened with 1 second left. What if your teammate slashes a kid at the blue line with 1 second left in the game? Like, you're throwing hands in the locker room after. You're like, listen here, bud, you just blew it.
And I respect the refs a lot more for making that call. He made the appropriate call in the most pressure-tight situation they're in.
Yeah, and that's a tough call to make as a ref. You never want to decide a game. We said it earlier, but that's a call you got to make. That's blatant. Good on him. Good on you, Zebra Ugly Bucket.
I guess we end in a good way, but I think the verdict is that if we're calling a penalty on these refs, it would be for, I don't know, just
blatant incompetence.
Blatant incompetence is the perfect way to describe that reffing performance throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, you're done. Those badges, history. We're ripping them right off the jersey.